Crypto.com exchange suspends withdrawals on Solana blockchain as crypto prices crash. Another exchange in trouble. They asked the question, I don't know that we could really say that Crypto.com is necessarily in trouble here. I think it's more that Solana as a network is in trouble. But yes, because of contagion, etc., there could be issues there. And as you guys know, I used to be sponsored by Crypto.com, and I can tell you that they are to the point to where they cannot really even afford content creators that are, frankly, extremely cheap. I am an extremely cheap content creator. You know, we sell ads for like $100 over here. In an email to users on Wednesday, the platform reportedly said that they are suspending deposits and withdrawals of USDC and USDT on the Solana blockchain effective immediately. The note did not mention the exact reason for the move. However, it said stablecoin withdrawals and deposits in other blockchains like Ethereum and Kronos would resume normally. In a Thursday tweet, Crypto.com CEO Chris Marsalek said the recent developments around FTX and Alameda Research, which are two of the biggest backers of Solana, led to the decision. I mean, no Sherlock, right? Quote, FTX was an important bridge venue for Sol-based stablecoins. We do not want any additional risk to our users coming from this area, hence disabling it. Marsalek added that other chains are operating normally. As reported, FTX, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges, has been hit with a significant liquidity crunch. Initially, Binance signed a letter of intent to acquire the failing crypto exchange, but backed out of the deal, saying issues are beyond our ability to help. The news further exacerbated the crypto market crash, and Bitcoin, the world's largest cryptocurrency, tumbled as low as $15,682, a level not seen in 2 years. Ethereum also dropped to $1,083, down by around 4% over the past day. And Chris Marsalek pushes for more transparency. Here's the deal, guys. And I like, in my humble opinion, these failures need to happen. The centralized exchanges and so on have to fail. They have to get pushed out. And I don't think that the answer here is going to be regulation. So there is going to be like clearly transparency I can agree with. But we have to be careful because a lot of what this is going to be utilized to do is push for regulation. And I also want you to look at the type of people and who was pushing for regulation previously, right? Sam Bankman-Fried was one of the biggest proponents of regulation. Why would that be? And then if we talk about some of the weirdness coming out from the political scene right now, surrounding dealings with regulation and lobbying and so on. I'm going to be working on this to get it out to you guys soon, but there does appear to be, and I was trying to find the tweet here, there does appear to be some sort of connection between Gary Gensler and SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, and FTX, and now he's using this essentially to push for more regulation. So pay very, very close attention to what Gary Gensler is doing now. And then I think somebody that's really good to follow as well would be Representative Tom Emmer. And he's kind of tracking a lot of this from the political side of things in the U.S. And I think it's going to be really important to pay attention. So in a bid to address this skepticism, Marsalek said that crypto exchanges should publicly share proof of reserves. And this is something that's been coming out. And there's a lot of people that are proponents for this. Proof of reserves for exchanges, Binance would be one, Crypto.com would be one. A lot of the exchanges that are current, I believe like KuCoin as well. A lot of these exchanges are talking about doing proof of reserves, which they would put out. Now, my perspective, let the centralized entities fail. We have the tools to be transparent within decentralized finance. And the thing is these, obviously there's a lot of money in this for the centralized exchanges and so on. So they're not going to give up easily and just fold, right? But the only real thing that you need in a big exchange for, a centralized exchange for, is basically swapping into fiat currency. There's no need for, essentially at this point, centralized exchanges, or a lot less need for centralized exchanges. So when I say like this is kind of a necessary thing to happen across the board, I do think we end up, and look, everybody always calls me crazy. I think that banks will fight the federal government over CBDCs, but eventually will be obsolete for the most part in like the next 50 to 100 years, right? I think that eventually all centralized exchanges fail and the nation state or fiat currencies in general fail, and everything centralizes around some sort of digital currency. And as a result, you will not have any need for centralized exchanges either, because centralized exchanges essentially are just banks. So I would also presume that centralized exchanges go away before anything else. My assumption would be you end up with a CBDC that is running your middleman conversion between whatever cryptocurrency you're participating in and that CBDC, right? That fiat, basically, version of digital currency. He went on to say, quote, "This is a critical moment for the entire industry. Transparency is more important than ever, and safety and security of users and funds remains the priority. It requires full and collective commitment." However, some users suggested that sharing proof of reserves alone would not be enough. It is also important that crypto platforms do not trade with users' funds and be transparent with where the yield comes from. And this is also just like, it's a little bit of comedy. Like if you step back and you just look at this like completely objectively, it's like all the exchanges are doing is exactly what the banking industry has been doing for essentially ever, right? The only difference being is that there's not as much government oversight, and there isn't a daddy government to come in and basically bail out the crypto exchanges like they do with the banks when they up, right? So the only difference between a centralized exchange for cryptocurrency right now and banks is that the federal government isn't coming in and bailing them out. That's pretty much it. Other than that, you can consider them the exact same thing. That's why I say first centralized exchanges will become obsolete, and then banks eventually. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. You can check out the full episode here or more crypto content down here. Also, I'd like you to check out my locals page at sonofatech.locals.com, where you can become a member for free or choose to be a $5 a month supporter that unlocks additional content.